Yeah. Hello, everyone. Is my voice audible, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anybody completed their task? Are you guys able to implement Redux? Anyone done with that part? So we have a component called products, and there is some backend part. There is some backend part. Now we are just, whenever this component is mounting, we are sending a request to this server. This server or this backend is giving us 20 product information, and that data we have to store in the Redux. That is what our task was. So how many of you done this part? Anybody completed? So here if you see, this was our code. So here we have implemented use effect now. So whenever our component mounts, then use effect will call its callback function. This callback function is going to call get products. Inside the get products, this is our get products. Inside this get products, we have written the logic to send a request to a server. We are sending a request to a server, and we are receiving the response in the promise object format. And that promise object we are handling, and we are accessing the data from the promise object, and we are setting it to our state. That is the reason, if you see, whenever you visit your component, it will send a request and it will just display that data here. Now what we wanted to do is, this data directly we don't want to display in the component. This data first we want to store in the Redux. So for that, I will remove this part. The moment I remove this code, you won't see that data on the screen. If I go back to home and come back to product, you won't see that data on the screen now. Okay. So now here what we have to do. So once we send the request, once we receive the response, okay, so we are receiving the response in the component. So from our component, we will call one action creator. From our component, we will call one action creator. Okay. So let's assume that here we are creating one action creator. We will call one action creator. Now, what is action creator? What is action creator? Anybody, guys? From our component, I have to call this action creator, and whatever data I have received from server, that data I have to give to my action creator. That data I need to give to my action creator. So what is action creator? Anybody remembered?
Action object.
Action is object. What is action creator? Okay, here I am creating products action.js. Inside this file, I want to create one action creator. So action creator is one function. Action creator is one function which returns one action object. which returns action object. And action object contains one mandatory property, that is type. So, and I'm adding here some unique string as a value. I will say here products. And here I will add one more property called payload. For second property, you can use whatever key you want. I am just using a key like a payload. And here I want to add the data that I am getting from my backend. Whatever data I am getting from my backend, that data I want to assign to this particular property as a value. So here I will say data. Now this data should come from this parameter. Now I will export this function from here. Now this products action I have to call from my component, and I have to pass my backend data, whatever I am receiving, as an argument to this function. So in all products, I will simply import products action. Now this is a function. So I have to call this function. So I will call this function once I get the response from server. Now to this function, we have to pass one argument now because it has one parameter, and whatever data I am receiving from server, that I will pass as a argument. Now what this function is going to do, it will take the data as an argument. It will store that data in the parameter. It will return the object by adding this data inside this object. Nothing but it will return one action object. Now this function is going to return one action object. So that action object, I can just hold in one variable called action. Now let me just check whether I am able to receive that data in this action object or not. So I will go back, right click, inspect, go to the console. So let me clear all this. I come back to the product. Now see, here we have type product, and under payload, now we have an array with 20 products. So successfully, we are able to add all the data which is coming from backend in the action object. So whenever you call this action creator and you pass the data, this action creator is going to create one object, and that object we are going to call as an action object. And in that object, it will add that data. It will simply add that data. And then this action creator is going to return that data to the component. It will return this action object to this component. Now what this component has to do, this component has to call dispatch now. It has to call a dispatch function. And whatever action object component received from action creator, that action object need to be passed to this dispatch. To this dispatch. Now what this dispatch will do, dispatch will call your reducer. It will simply call your reducer. So from component, you have to call the dispatch, and this action object you have to give to the dispatch as an argument. Internally, dispatch will call your reducer, and it will pass that action object. It will pass that action object to the reducer. The action object will come here. So let's try up to here. So let me remove this console.log now. Now here we have to call dispatch. So to call dispatch, first of all, we require that dispatch function. So from React Redux, we will import use dispatch hook. And here we will call that use dispatch hook. Now this hook is going to return us that dispatch function. It returns a function called dispatch. Now this dispatch function we can call after our action creator. And we can pass that action object. Now what this dispatch is going to do? This dispatch will call your reducer. So here you have created your reducer. It will call this reducer function. Here already you have written some code. This reducer function will be called. And whatever action object you are passing to the dispatch, that action object will store here. Now this function will be called. Now here it will check action.type is product. Right now in our action.type, we have product. We have here products. So first it will try to match with this. So this condition is false. Then it will go to the else if. Here also condition is false. Now here we have to write the code. I can write one more else if. Now I will say that action.type, if it is equals to products, then what we want to do? First we want to access this state. To that state, we will assign a new object. In this new object, first we will copy existing data of our Redux store. Whatever data we have in the Redux store, first we will copy all that data. So how to get the access of Redux store in our reducer? Using this first parameter, you will get that access. So simply use spread operator. Now you got the data. Now in that, we want to update this products property. So right now to this products, one empty array is assigned. So we have to remove that empty array and we have to assign the array which contains 20 products. So for that, we have to use here products colon, and where is our array which contains 20 products, that is inside the action object. So action dot payload. That's it. Now if I go back here, if I go to Redux, now here let me add hello. I got here hello. I will select city Pune, submit, I got Pune. Now if you see current state of your Redux, in that you have name property with the value hello, you have city property with the value Pune, and products property with the value array. Suppose if I refresh my application, all the data of my Redux I will lose. So the moment I add here hi and click on submit, now if you see your Redux data, in the name you have hi, city is empty, products is empty array. So the moment you refresh your application, you will lose all your Redux data. Now I will select this city to Delhi, click on submit. Now the latest Redux store will be like this. In the name you have hi, city is Delhi, products is empty array. Now let me clear all this and let me click on products. The moment I click on products, again we have done some action. Our Redux store got updated. Again we got this latest status of our Redux store. City is still Delhi, name is still hi, and products is this one. Now if I go back to the Redux, see still hi and Delhi is available here. If I come back here, here I have this products. So now successfully we are able to store the data inside the Redux store. Now what we have to do? in the same component, we have to get the Redux store data. To get the Redux store data, we have to use selector. Use selector. Now just call that use selector here. Now use selector hooks takes one callback function. Define that callback function. That callback function should have return statement. Now this callback function will have a parameter, and in that parameter you will have a access of your store data. You will have access of your store data. Now from this store data, we want only products property data. So simply I can say that store data dot products. Now use selector is going to return that data to us. I will simply say here products data. We got that products data. Now what we have to do here, we are iterating through our state, right? Instead of iterating through our state, we have to iterate through our products data. Now let me go back and let me check. Now if I come back here, home, I have home. And if I click on product, see now how fast the product data is loading. Click on Redux, we have this data. If I click on products, how fast it is loading. I will refresh now. Now all the data got deleted from our Redux. Now if I click on product, it will send a request to a server. So it is taking some time. First time it is taking some time, we got that data. Now from second time, if you see, your data will be load very fast. It will load very fast. See how fast it is loading. But here there is one issue. What is that issue means? The moment you click on this products, whenever product component loads, one request will go to the server. Each and every time one request will go to the server. So to understand this, let me do one thing. Let me go to this all products. And here I will add console.log. I will simply say executed. So let's see how many times this console.log will print. So I will right click. I will go to the inspect. Let me click on this console. So let me go to the home back and let me refresh my application. So the moment I refresh my application, all the data of my Redux got removed. So if I go to this Redux, you will see that there is no data here. Okay, so let me go back to home now. Let me clear this part now. Now, the moment I click on this product, see, I got that console message. Executed. Executed. It means we are sending the request to a server once we click on these products. And we got that data we are adding in the Redux, and from there we are displaying here. Now let me clear this part. Now let me visit some other component, Redux. Now again, let me come back to the products. The moment I come back to the products, data is loading very fast, but still if you see, you have their executed. If I go to category, again, if I come back to products, again, we got executed. It means the moment you visit this component, still you are sending a request to a server. So now, can you tell me how to avoid this part? How to avoid sending the request to a server multiple times? I want to send a request to a server only first time. Once I got the data, once I stored that data in the Redux, from second time, I don't want to send any request to my server. So how to avoid it? First of all, why your component is sending so many requests to a server whenever you visit it? First, that you have to find. If you understand why it is sending, then you can restrict it. This is the reason I say you have to practice on the daily basis. If you don't practice, this is what happens. So this is your screen. This is your product component. The moment you click on that product's link, your product component will mount on the screen. The moment product component mounts, use effect hook. This use effect hook will call this callback function. The moment this callback function is called, your get products will be called. And whenever get products is called, you are going to send the request to a server. Now you will click on some other link, like you will click on Redux. The moment you click on Redux, internally what happens? This component will be unmounted. It means this component will be removed from your screen. The moment this component is unmounted, you cannot see its UI. Redux component will be mounted here. This component will be unmounted, Redux component will be mounted. That is the reason here we are able to see that Redux component. The moment I click on home, that Redux component will be unmounted, home component will be mounted. Home component will be mounted. That is the reason you are able to see the home component. Again, if I click on products, see, I got here executed again. Again, what happens? The moment you click on products, home component will be unmounted, products component will be mounted. And whenever product component mounts, what your use effect hook will do? It will call this callback function. And the moment this callback function is called, again this function will be called. Again this function will be called. So each and every time whenever your product component is getting mounted, this particular function is getting called. So what we have to do, we have to first, before calling this function, we have to check our Redux data. In our Redux, under property, products property, if you have any data, then you should not call this function. In the Redux, under products property, if you don't have any data, then only call this function. So if you write that code, then your problem will be resolved. So what you are going to do here, we will write if this products data. Now this products data is array, products data dot length. If it is equals to 0, then only you call this get products, or else don't call. Products data dot length, if it is equals to 0, then only call get products. If length is greater than 0, it means already we have data in the Redux, then don't call get products. Now just see here. Let me go back to the home. Let me refresh. So first time, whenever you refresh, all the data of Redux got deleted. Now in your Redux, under products property, there is an empty array. So the moment you click on this products, product component will be mounted. The moment product component will be mounted, it is going to check this condition, products data dot length. Right now, products data dot length is an empty array. So length will be 0. 0 equals to 0. Condition became true. It will call get products. Now one request will go to the server. It will send all the 20 products to client. Client will store that 20 products in the Redux. And that Redux data we will display in our UI. Now see, here we got that data. Now here if you see, you got here executed. Now I will clear it. Now I will click on Redux. There is clear it. Now again I will visit products. Now see, there is no executed here. It means we are not calling the get products function. And if you are not calling the get products function, a request will not go to the server. But still, we are able to get our data here. Again, I will click on home. Again, I will come back to products. Still, there is no issue. Login. Again, I will come back to products. Category, products. There is no executed message in the console. It means we are not sending any request to a server. Now, if you see, your component will load very, very fast. The data in the component will load very, very fast. The moment I click on product, you will see that data. Before implementing Redux, there was little bit delay in getting this data. Now see how fast it is. So this is how Redux is going to improve the performance of your application.
Yeah, hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir, actually product is coming from the backend API and we are checking the length. Suppose that we call first time and got the data and later someone is updated the backend data and the record is a 22. Then I think last two record we are not able to fetch, sir. If you
For
declare.
that, again, you have to refresh your application, or else once you end that session, whenever you log in next time, you will get that latest data.
Okay.
Okay, when you are using application, suddenly if there is any updates in the database, so you won't get that updates at that time only. To get those updates, first of all, you have to log out your application or you have to refresh your application. Once you refresh, you will get the updated data. And as a client, you will not know, you will not be knowing, right, whether data got updated or not.
Yes.
So that is what happens. So this is only for a particular session, right? So once you log out and once again, if you log in, then automatically you will get your updated data. Or else if you just refresh your application, you will get your updated data. Okay. So for example, we are visiting Flipkart, okay, and we are searching for mobiles. Now they are showing a lot of mobiles to us. Now we don't know when their Amazon or Flipkart database will get updated. So right now we are in the session, so we won't get that updated data. And we will not come to know also whether that database got updated with some new products or not. But the moment you log out, again you log in, you will get it. Your updated data, you will get it. Now, here we are getting it. Now, what we have to do, the moment you click on this product details, you have to navigate. You have to navigate to product details component. So here product details component we don't have. So under component, I will create one folder called product details. Under that product details folder, I will create one file, product details.jsx. I am creating a component here, product details, h2, here product details. Now what we have to do is, whenever you click on any product detail button, then you have to navigate to this component. So for this, what I have to do? Under card, we have that button. Whenever I click on this button, I should navigate to product details component. So here we have button product details, product details, product details. The moment you click on this button, you should navigate to the product details component. Right now you are in the all products component. The moment you click on that product details button, you have to navigate to the product details component. So what I have to do for this? How can I navigate? Anybody knows how to navigate? It means you guys are not practicing. So you have to import link component from React Router DOM. Now you can wrap that button inside this link component. And here simply you have to add path to /product details. So now the moment you click on this button, this URL will change. Right now it's all products. So the moment I click on any button here, it will change to product details. Now here, instead of showing page not found component, we have to show product details component. For that, we have to add a routing now. So go to app.jsx. Okay, all this we don't require right now, so remove it. So import product details component and now add one route. I will just add here one route. Whenever the path is /product details, you have to render product details component. Save it. Go back. Now here we got. Now if I click on products, I got products. If I click on any button, I will navigate to product details component. Now in this product details component, we have to display all the details of that particular product. That particular product. How to do that? So here you have product component. Here you have product details component. Here from this component, you are navigating to this component. Now in this product component, you have lot of products. Product 1, product 2, product 3, product 4. You have lot of products. Now if you click on this product details button, then this product information, only that particular product information you have to display in the product details component. This you have to display here. If you click on this product button, then that only this product details you have to display here. If you click on this product, then you have to display only that particular product information here. Complete information you have to display. Right now in all products, we are displaying only few information, like we are displaying image and maybe title, price, rating, and this one. Apart from this, we have some more information. That information also we want to display in product details. So how to do this?
Yeah, I think we create one function, yeah, component, and pass the dynamic data of that component. And this.
So already we have the data in Redux, right? Already we have the data in the Redux. So what we will do, whenever you click on any particular product, that particular product ID we will send from this all products component to product details component via path parameter as a path parameter. Nothing but in the URL we will send. Now, this component will receive that ID from this URL. Then this component will connect with the Redux now. It will access the data of the Redux, or it will simply filter this ID product data from this all the Redux data, and it will access that specific data and it will display here. It will display here. So here also we are not sending any request to a server. Right now we have the data in Redux. We are just utilizing that data. So first you have to understand how to send ID as a path parameter on click of the button. So if you go to this card, here we are receiving image, title, price, rating. So what we will do here, we will try to receive ID also. So from all our products, we will send ID as well. Product.id. So from all products component, we are sending image, price, title, rating, information. That is the reason this information was displayed in your cards. Now with all this information to this card component, we will send ID also. Now in the card component, we will destructure that ID. If you want, here I can display the ID as well. I can simply take H3 and I will display here ID. Let's see whether ID will be displayed or not. Now see, ID is displaying 1, 2, 3, 4. All the product ID is displaying 20. So all the product will have their unique ID. So now let me remove this H3. Now what we will do, whenever we are clicking on this button, nothing but this link, that ID value we will send in this URL. We will add in this URL. How to add that ID in the URL means, to these two props, we will add here curly brace because we have to pass some dynamic data. Then take backticks slash add your URL path, that is product details, slash after this add your data as a path parameter. So if you want to add any dynamic data, then you can just add here this dollar and open curly brace, close curly brace. And here you can pass your ID. Now, whenever you click on this link, whenever you click on this button, now in your URL, the path will change to slash product details slash ID of that particular product will be added. So if you go back here, right now the path is all products. The moment you click on this button, it's like slash product details. This is the path. After that, ID of the product will be added. So in the same way, if I click on any other product, let's assume that I am clicking on last product. So this product ID is 20. So the moment I click on this, I got here product details slash 20. So after your path, after your URL path, whatever you will have, that is called path parameter. Path parameter is your data. So this is path parameter. Now what we have to do, we have to change our routing part as well. Now in our URL, it's like slash product details. After that, we have a path parameter. So how to specify? After this, we have a path parameter. For that, simply we have to add slash. Then we have to add colon. Colon indicates after this product details, there is a path parameter. And here we have to add some reference name like ID. Whatever reference name you want to add, you can add. So this reference name indicates here some ID will come, some dynamic data will come. So colon indicates this is the path parameter. If you don't add colon and instead of that, if you add ID, then it will be considered as a path parameter, or it will be considered as a URL path only. But we don't want it to make this URL path. We want to make it as a path parameter. For that, add a colon, then add ID. Now, if you go back here, now you got product details. It will match with your route. Now, this ID we have to access from this URL into product details component. How to access this path parameter into product details component? This is where your which hook will come into picture? Anybody remember that hook? Some hook you have to import from React Redux. Not React Redux, React Router DOM. What is that? Use path. Anybody remember? It's use params. Now use params will give you all the path parameters. Whenever you call this use params, it will return one object. It will return one object. So that object you can hold inside one variable. Whatever you want, like I will say here, parameters. Now in this variable, one object will be stored. In that object, all your path parameters will be stored. How they will be stored means in the property format. So key will be whatever you have configured in the routing, whatever reference name you have taken. So here I have taken ID. So this ID will be key. And value will be your data, which is in the URL, that is 20. Now, if I want to access this 20, simply here I have to say parameter dot ID. So if I come back here, I got 20. Now, if I visit some other product, so this one ID 4, so here I got 4. First product ID 1, I will get ID 1. Or instead of using this long form, we can destructure, because we know that use params will return one object. So we can destructure that object and we can access ID from there. Now here we can display that ID. We got ID. Now what we have to do, based on this ID, we have to filter our Redux data. We have to filter our Redux data. So how to do that? For that, again, you have to import here, use the selector hook from React Redux. Because we want the store data here. So we will use selector. We will call that use selector hook. It will take one callback function. It has return statement. And in its first parameter, you will have the access of store data. Now you have to take store data. It is an object. In that we want products. Now this product is one array. in that array, you have all the 20 products. Out of those 20 products, we want only one product whose ID is matching with this value, with this ID value. It means from all that 20 products, we have to filter that array and we have to access only one product whose ID is matching with this. So for this, can we use filter function? Now filter will take one callback function. It will have a return statement. It will pick all the product. Each and every product it will pick. Then simply we have to match it. Product.id should be equals to ID. Now what this entire line is going to do, what it will return?
Product detail.
So here let me just say let product data and let me console that and let me check whether I will receive that data or not. Will I receive that data? Go to inspect, go to console. Products, let me click on product details. Now see here I am receiving empty array. Empty object. Now this is because this line is getting executed first. So let me do one thing here. Let me try use effect as well. Let me call that use effect. And here let me try to add console.log of product data. Let me clear it. Go to Redux, come to products, click on any product details. You still see we are receiving empty array. It means here we are getting empty array. So anybody can guess where we are doing wrong? What we have to do here? So this is our store data. In this store data, we have 20 products. So what we have to do, out of that 20 products, we have to pick one product whose ID is matching with this value. That is what we have to do. In our Redux, we have 20 products. Out of that 20 product, we want one product. Which product whose ID is matching with this value?
Can we check store data is there or not? Data is there inside the store data.
Store data is there, obviously there, no? Because from product component only you are coming to product details. So you have the data in the product. So if you want, you can check here. You can just add console.log store data. Now come back here. See, 20 products. So if I go back home, let me refresh. Right now you don't have any data in the Redux. The moment you click on product, you got all the data in the Redux store, 20. Now from here, I will go to product details. Now here we have.
Here we are checking with the object and ID.
We have to check.
Now here 10th line, product.id equals to ID. Here the let ID is an object, right? 6th line, and maybe will that compare properly?
We are
10th line.
accessing that ID. Inside the object, we are destructuring it. So the problem is when you are accessing ID from your URL, it will be in the string format. Okay, it will be in the string format. And whatever ID you have in that object, that is in the number format. So here you are comparing string and number. Okay, so now suppose if I give double, only double equals to, and if I save it, if I go back here, see, in my array, I got product. So when you are trying to access this ID from the URL, it will be accessed in the string format. So here this ID, when you are trying to access this value, when you are trying to access from that URL into your product details component, that will be in the string format. And from our database, whatever ID value is coming, that is in the number format. So when you try to compare string and number with triple equals to, obviously it will give you result 0. I mean, it will not compare that, right? It will give you the result false. That's why you were not getting. Now see here, successfully I am able to access the data. So now let's suppose I want to display that data here. So what I will do now, I got that entire data inside this. Now this is like product data. This is like array. In that, your first element is your object. So what we can do here is, I can just add one image src, width, I will say 500, height, I will say 300, and here I want to display the data. So products data is one array. In that we want first element, because in that array we have right now, we have only one element, and that element is also in the object format. From that object, I want to access image. So let's see whether that image will be displayed or not. Now see that image is displayed. Now if I go back here, and if I click on any product, let's assume that I want to click on this particular product, on this Samsung 49 inch, I got that data. Again, if I go back here, let's assume that I want to click on this white gold, I got that. So what I want to do here is, here proper UI I want to create. In proper UI, and I want to display that entire data. Now your entire data is present here. From here you can access and you can bind that data to your UI. First you have to create UI. Okay. So that part you guys can do it. So I will just keep this code like this.
Yeah,
Okay.
hello, sir.
Go through this example, practice it. If you get any doubts, let me know in tomorrow's session.
Yeah, hello, sir. Instead of one value, if you want to pass the multiple value, then how to attach that one,
So
sir?
where you have to pass multiple values as a path parameter.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, same thing. So if you go back to that card component, now here I am passing ID, right? Suppose I want to pass one more data. Let's assume that I want to pass price also. So slash, again dollar, here we will pass this price as well. Now how many path parameters you are passing? You will have to pass price as well. Okay, now this backticks you have to remove from here. You have to end here. Now how many path parameters we are passing? 2, right? So now what you have to do is, in routing also, you have to tell I am passing 2 path parameters. So right now here you are saying that you are passing only 1 path parameter, but you are passing now 2. So here also you have to add slash, colon, then add some reference here. Whatever name you want to add, you can add. But right now we are adding price. So I will write here also price only. Now, if you see, your URL will have two data. Like if I click on this, so here 3 is the ID, 55.99 is the price. Now I want to access this data also. So that data in your product details component, you can access through use parameter only. No, sorry, use params. Now this use params will return one object, right? Already one path parameter is there. Now you are passing two, so that price will be here like this, whatever price you have. Now you want to destructure it, just add a comma price. Now that price we can display anywhere we want. Suppose I want to display here, I will say price. So remember, while configuring route, exactly what key, what reference you have taken here, exactly that reference only we have to take here also. So here we got price. Okay, here suppose if I have taken X, just X if I have taken, then while getting that path parameter using use params, here also we have to extract like X. So here it will be like X. And here where we are displaying that, here we are displaying it should be X. So while configuring route, whatever reference you have taken, exactly that reference you have to take. So I can click on product, I can click on some other product as well. So two data you are passing. Like this, you can pass any number of data, but make sure in your URL, you are not passing any sensitive data, because whatever data you will pass in the URL as a path parameter, that data will be visible to the users. It will be visible to the users. That's why we don't pass any sensitive data.
Yeah, so sir, any other way, like in the API we are calling as a passing with the object. So like this we are able to pass object instead of the parameter.
Pass object, you can pass only strings. Okay, you have to access the data from the objects and you have to pass. You can pass only strings in the path parameters. So if you want to pass the object, then don't use this path parameter technique. Use some other techniques. Pass in the body of your, or else store that data in the Redux store and from there you can access it. That is also one part. So just go through this example. I will push this code. Practice it. If you get any doubts, let me know in tomorrow's session. So tomorrow we will start with that JSON server and I will explain you about post, put and delete request. Right now we know get request. Let's discuss about post, put and delete. That will be the last topic of your React. So once we're done with that, we will go through syllabus. Let's check, did we cover everything or not? If something is pending, we will cover that. Okay. Then we will start with Bootstrap. Then we will start with project development. So in project development, half of part I will do, half of part you have to do. So I will be giving the tasks. So you guys have to complete that task. Yeah. So you guys also go through the syllabus. You have the syllabus and check if anything is pending. If something is pending, just note down that part. And whenever tomorrow I ask, then you guys can just let me know. Yeah, that's all guys. Let's meet tomorrow and let's continue next topic.